What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Khamzat has reportedly declined a fight with Nassourdine Imovav, and the situation has stirred a lot of discussion online. In a recent interview with ESPN, Khamzat explained why he's not interested in facing Imovav right now, and his reasoning had little to do with rankings or competition. Instead, he said it comes down to culture, respect, and the potential drama such a matchup could create. Khamzat said that both he and Imovav share similar roots, and their communities often get caught up in rivalry narratives. He explained that because he's from Chechnya and Imovav is from Dagestan, a fight between them could create unnecessary tension between the two groups, especially on the internet, where debates easily turn heated. He made it clear that he genuinely likes Imovav, respects him, and considers him someone he knows personally. They've crossed paths many times, and because they're both Muslim, Khamzat feels that fighting him doesn't make much sense unless there's absolutely no other option. He said he doesn't want to invite drama or see people online turning the matchup into something bigger than it needs to be. Still, Khamzat didn't shut the door completely. He said, if the UFC wants the fight, and if Imovav wants it, he's not the type of guy to say no. He even mentioned that he's already talked to Imovav's manager and told him that if Imovav wants to wait for Khamzat to move up, he's willing to wait as well. The tone of the interview showed that Khamzat is not avoiding competition. He simply prefers avoiding conflict within his own cultural circle. He said that if the UFC insists, he'll accept because he never turns down a fight. But if it's up to him, he'd rather not turn what should be a sporting contest into something that risks stirring drama among fans from Dagestan and Chechnya. Throughout the conversation, Khamzat emphasized respect, saying Imovav is a good guy, someone he considers a friend, and that he sees no personal benefit in fighting someone he has no issues with. For now, the fight seems unlikely unless the UFC decides to push it forward or circumstances change. But Khamzat made it clear he would still be ready if the matchup ever becomes necessary. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Francis Ngannou has finally responded to the claim Dana White made about him getting physical during an interaction years ago. Ngannou has stayed quiet ever since White told the story, but in a new interview with Ariel Helwani, he addressed the accusation for the first time. Ngannou was noticeably evasive, choosing not to answer the allegation directly. He said there was really no point in responding, but he added that if something like that truly happened, there would be cameras and recordings in the UFC offices. With that, he subtly challenged Dana to release the footage if it exists. Helwani asked him directly, "Did you ever put your hands on him?" Ngannou replied calmly, saying that if White's story were true, then Dana would be the only person he has ever put his hands on. When Helwani clarified that White claimed Ngannou grabbed his collar in an office with Hunter Campbell present, Ngannou simply responded by pointing out the obvious. The UFC headquarters is full of cameras. He suggested that if such an incident actually happened, there should be clear video evidence. Helwani then asked whether Ngannou was inviting Dana to show the proof, but Ngannou pushed back and said he wasn't inviting him to do anything. He emphasized that he's not in court and doesn't feel the need to go back and forth over something he believes isn't worth his energy. Helwani pressed further, saying that White's version of the story paints Ngannou as a bad guy and creates the image of an ugly confrontation. Most people, Helwani explained, would feel the need to defend themselves if someone said something like that publicly. Ngannou responded by saying that if you try to defend yourself every single time someone says something about you, life becomes exhausting. He explained that over time, he has grown tired of responding to every accusation, every comment, and every attempt to drag him into controversy. For him, this situation feels like another one of those moments where silence makes more sense than feeding into the narrative. Moving on to another news, Justin Gaethje says he wants revenge against both Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira, and he isn't hiding it anymore. Speaking to Submission Radio, Gaethje explained that if Ilya decides to move up to 170 and he himself gets past Paddy Pimblett, it would not only make him the undisputed lightweight champion, it would also open the door for massive rematches with Holloway and Oliveira. He said that if Ilya truly goes up in weight, then Gaethje would simply remain the champion. and that's something he definitely wouldn't complain about. But what really excites him is what comes next if that scenario plays out. Gaethje said this situation creates a clear path for him to finally get those long-desired rematches against Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira. And to him, reclaiming the belt while also getting those matchups is the exact script he's been speaking into existence ever since the Fiziev fight. He revealed that originally he believed he would be fighting Ilya in January, and then after that he expected to face Max, or whoever ended up with the belt. At first, it was shaping up to be Max alone, so Gaethje had already envisioned himself facing Holloway on the White House card and walking away with both belts. But now, with Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira booked to face each other, the situation has changed. Yet Gaethje still sees his opportunity waiting. Gaethje emphasized that everything he's been working for points toward this next chapter. Win the belt outright, unify it if necessary, and then run it back with the two men who handed him some of the toughest losses of his career. He made it clear that beating Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira has been on his mind for a long time, not just for revenge, but to prove to himself and to the world that he's evolved into a more complete fighter. For Gaethje, these rematches represent closure, legacy, and the chance to achieve what he's been manifesting for years. And with Ilya potentially moving divisions, a White House card being discussed, and the lightweight division shifting once again, Gaethje believes his moment is finally within reach. Moving on to another news, Islam Makhachev has spoken up in defense of Arman, and he's just as confused as the rest of the MMA community about the UFC's recent matchmaking decisions. After Dana White announced that Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett at UFC 324 would be an interim title fight, with the winner moving on to face the champion Ilya, fans were stunned. The announcement immediately sparked backlash, because many felt Arman had clearly earned the next shot and was being pushed aside for a matchup that made little competitive sense. Now, more than 2 weeks later, that shock still hasn't worn off, and Islam himself is openly questioning what the UFC is doing. During his interview with Red Corner MMA, Islam said he genuinely doesn't understand the choices being made. With Paddy versus Gaethje scheduled and Ilya planning to return later in the year, Islam pointed out that Arman could once again be stuck waiting on the sidelines for a long time. That delay could easily stretch into another year, something fans and analysts have already criticized heavily. To Islam, it's an unnecessary stall in the division, especially considering how active and successful Arman has been. Islam said the organization probably won't like hearing it, but they're making more and more decisions that don't make sense to him. From his perspective, Arman absolutely deserved the title shot. He said it plainly. Arman earned it, and the UFC passed him over. He explained that the interim title fight automatically guarantees the winner a shot at Ilya, which pushes Arman even further back. If Gaethje or Paddy wins, they get Ilya next, meaning Arman waits through another long cycle. Still, Islam said he understands the frustration because he lived through something similar himself. He reminded everyone that he had to win 10 fights in a row before he finally got his own title shot. He went through long stretches of inactivity, he dealt with delays, and he learned to stay patient through it all. That's why, even though the situation is tough, Islam believes Arman should remain patient and wait it out. He said Arman's time will come, even if the road has become longer and more confusing than it should be. Moving on to another news, the MMA community is calling out Francis Ngannou after his recent interview, with many fans in the comments saying they don't believe his explanation. A lot of people felt that Ngannou dodged the question instead of giving a clear answer, and they didn't hold back online. One fan wrote, "Did everything but say no? Lol, he did it." Another added, "When you can't answer simple questions like, did you do it? Just own it. It's not like you're going to get in trouble for it now." Others echoed the same sentiment, saying his reluctance to say a direct no makes the situation look even more suspicious. Many fans argued that if Ngannou truly didn't put his hands on Dana White, he would have said it plainly, instead of pointing to cameras or saying he didn't want to respond. Overall, the reaction was overwhelmingly skeptical, with most fans convinced he wasn't being completely honest. Moving on to another news. Daniel Cormier is pushing back against Dana White's recent comments about why Arman still hasn't received a title shot. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Cormier said that ever since Arman withdrew from the Makhachev fight years ago, he has done everything necessary to prove he's the most deserving contender in the lightweight division. In Cormier's view, Arman should already be fighting for some version of the lightweight title, and the idea that he still needs to work his way back doesn't make sense anymore. Cormier repeated Dana's explanation, which was essentially that Arman had his chance and lost it, and no matter what number is next to a fighter's name, they must climb their way up again. But Cormier strongly disagreed. He pointed out that Arman stepping in as a backup fighter, then facing Dan Hooker and beating him, were clear steps that showed Arman was rebuilding trust and momentum with the UFC. To Cormier, those performances were exactly what the promotion should want to see from a contender who was supposedly working his way back into title contention. He continued by saying he genuinely believes Arman should already be fighting for gold. Many people, including analysts and fighters, consider Arman the best lightweight in the world right now, especially with Islam having moved on to welterweight. Cormier clarified that he's not necessarily saying he personally believes Arman is number one, but he acknowledged that a large portion of the MMA community feels that way, and their opinion matters. They see Arman as the rightful next challenger, and Cormier agrees that the UFC should recognize that. In Cormier's words, Arman deserves a title fight. He said it plainly and repeatedly. He emphasized that Arman's style is a nightmare matchup for every top lightweight currently hovering near the belt. His physicality, pace, wrestling, and pressure are problems for anyone in the division. And with his recent performances, Cormier feels Arman has shown not only elite skill, but the consistency and reliability needed to challenge for a world title. As far as he's concerned, there's nothing left for Arman to prove. Moving on to another news, Justin Gaethje spoke about the situation with Arman not getting the title shot, and he showed real empathy for how things played out. Gaethje admitted that he felt just as much hate coming his way as Arman did, because fans were split on who deserved this opportunity. He said that while his own supporters are obviously happy for him, he completely understands why Arman's fans feel frustrated or even slighted. In his view, Arman earned a big moment, and the disappointment from his side makes total sense. Gaethje explained that this sport is unpredictable, chaotic, and driven by timing more than anything else. He pointed out that when he beat Dustin Poirier, it didn't automatically guarantee him a title shot, yet Poirier ended up fighting for a belt afterward. To him, that's just proof of how wild the fight business is. You can do everything right, win the right fights, and still not have things fall into place the way you expect. And because of that, Gaethje said any fighter who signs up for this career needs to understand from day one that there are countless variables completely outside their control. He emphasized that fighters can only focus on the things they can control: preparation, performance, and staying ready for whatever opportunity comes their way. Gaethje said that every time fight night arrives, you have to show up fully prepared, because you never know when one win or one big moment will shift everything for you. He added that while he feels for Arman, he also knows that Arman is talented, young, and driven, and that opportunities in this sport can appear suddenly and disappear just as fast. Timing matters, momentum matters, and luck matters too. Gaethje made it clear that Arman's situation isn't about fairness or unfairness. It's simply the reality of the game. Sometimes the right shot comes, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it comes later than expected. But he believes Arman will get his moment, because fighters who stay ready eventually get the call. And when they do, everything can change overnight. Moving on to another news, Islam Makhachev is still pushing hard for a fight with Kamaru Usman, and he hasn't backed off that call-out since his big win over JDM. A lot of people were surprised when Makhachev chose to call out Usman instead of someone else in the division, and ever since then, the MMA community has been split. Some fans love the idea, others don't think it makes sense, but Makhachev clearly isn't bothered by the criticism. In a recent interview with Red Corner MMA, he talked about the backlash and doubled down on why he wants Usman next. Makhachev explained that in his opinion, Usman is the hardest possible fight for him at welterweight. Speaking in Russian, he said that while the media doesn't believe this fight will happen, he genuinely thinks Usman would run through up-and-coming contenders like Michael Morales or Carlos Prates. He said those guys haven't been tested yet, and stylistically, Usman is the real challenge. Makhachev added that from a promotional standpoint, the storyline would be strong. Former champion, the most title defenses in the division, and a matchup fans could easily get invested in. He also pointed out that Joaquin Buckley was considered a legitimate contender until Usman made him look ordinary, and after that loss, everyone quickly forgot about Buckley. Makhachev said if Buckley had won, he would have been the clear #1 contender. So that shows how unpredictable the rankings can be. Even so, Makhachev insists he'll accept whoever the UFC offers because he feels comfortable staying at welterweight long term and believes he'll be holding the belt for a while. Right now, Usman is ranked number 8, and many people argue that his inactivity works against him. He has only fought 3 times since 2023, and critics believe he doesn't deserve to skip the line. But the conversation isn't fading, especially after Carlos Prates confirmed in an MMA fighting interview that talks about Makhachev versus Usman are real. Prates said that if Usman gets the title shot, he'll likely need another fight. But if Usman doesn't get it, he believes he's next. He admitted that from what he's hearing, only Usman can jump the line, partly because he and Makhachev share management, and because Usman is already considered one of the greatest in the division. Prates said he's fine with whatever happens, but if he doesn't get the next title shot, he'll take one more fight and then go for it. And while all this is playing out, Makhachev also commented on the lightweight picture and even took a subtle jab at the UFC matchmakers, saying the division is chaotic, unpredictable, and full of decisions that fighters have no control over. Moving on to another news. A UFC fight was accidentally leaked on a live stream, and the moment quickly went viral. Gilbert Burns appeared on Neon's livestream on Kick, and while the two were casually talking, Burns let slip details about his next fight, scheduled for February or March 2026. It seemed like he didn't realize the cameras were rolling, and the chat instantly caught the moment. As Burns helped Neon put on gloves, he casually mentioned that he's fighting a Canadian fighter named Mike Malott next year. The way he said it sounded completely unplanned, as if he was just having a private conversation and forgot he was on a live broadcast. The clip shows Neon asking him about when his next fight is coming up, and Burns replies without hesitation, saying it's likely going to be early in the year. Then he adds that the opponent is a Canadian dude called Mike Malott. Neon immediately reacts, saying he knows who he is, while Burns just continues prepping him for the training segment, not realizing he may have just revealed something the UFC hadn't announced yet. The moment felt almost surreal because Burns spoke so naturally, and the chat instantly exploded with people realizing that a future matchup had just been leaked in real time. Burns, still unaware, kept things moving, telling Neon to grab some water and giving him a quick break before they started the next drill from the feet. It wasn't until moments later that viewers began clipping and sharing the leak across social media. For fans, it was an unexpected treat, giving them insight into an upcoming fight months before any official announcement. The situation added another layer to the constant stream of unintentional reveals that happen in the fight world, especially when fighters appear on live streams and forget that every word is being heard by thousands.